All right, those that are on the dating scene, let's have a talk because I need some help, or maybe I can give you some help. So, I wrote a blog post a couple of years ago. Actually, I wrote 3 blog posts about my experience of online dating. And I would have been 3 years ago, I would have been 51 years old. And I can tell you what, I swore I was never going to go online dating, like ever. And it was through the whole, last 3 years of drama or last 4 years of drama. And I was like, how am I ever going to meet somebody sitting in my house, and with all of these restrictions, etc. And I had already been single for a couple of years, actually 4 years by then. So I thought, why the heck not? Let's just give it a try. So I decided to go all in. And like I said, I wrote some blog posts on it. I went all in. I decided to go on 4 dating sites all at the same time. Yes, I know. I was like, go big or go home. And you guys should know me by now. It's all in or it's nothing. So that is exactly what I did. I went all in and I just thought, let's see which one of these actually stacks up. So if you want to know the ones that I was on, head on over to my blog, Monica Diane. That's Monica with a K, Diane with an E on the end.com, monicadiane.com. And anyway, so you'll find all the deets on that. But here is what I have to tell you about it. So again, if your experience was different, please put it in the comments below. I'd love to have a conversation about it. But this was my experience. Most dating sites are honestly the biggest meat market on the planet. And what I don't like about it is that it's highly impersonable. Highly impersonable? Whatever. However you say that word. Apparently, I've just forgotten how to speak English. Impersonable. I just give up. Okay, moving on. So you're part of a catalog. It reminded me of the Sears catalog back in the day when my mom used to have it. You flick the pages and you go to the next page. What's on the next page? And it was always like, ooh, what's on the next page? Maybe there's some cool dress on the next page, right? And that's really how I felt. Not only was I doing the swipe left, swipe right, whatever it was, click, yes, no, up, down. I found myself really kind of objectifying these guys on there, right? And on the flip side, whoa, was I ever objectified coming back? It was not good. If you put down in some of the descriptions, what you want, well, the whole point to those damn things is that you get to say, look, I kind of know myself. I'm over 50 years old. I know myself. And this is kind of what I'm looking for. It's like, it's not something like, the look of the guy and what kind of car you drive. It's just, hey, dude, I would really like somebody who's active. And if you like this, then that would be cool too. But, some of the stuff that I got sent back to me was so degrading and demoralizing and quite honestly offensive. A bunch of men that just found it was, to take it upon themselves to basically rip somebody apart because maybe they weren't getting any action and they were just really tired of women having a list, right? But here's what I have to say about all of that. And this goes for men and for women. If you don't have your boundaries clear, in other words, what your expectations are, then you're going to end up in a relationship and you're going to settle, or you're going to be abused, or you're not going to be happy because none of your needs are being met. Those lists online are a person's boundaries, and boundaries are a good thing. They're a very good thing. We all need to have boundaries. For instance, I don't want anybody who smokes, who is into drugs, who's an alcoholic. I don't want anybody who watches TV and sports all day long. I would prefer to have somebody who's active, loves nature. These kinds of things are boundaries, because if you don't have a clear set of boundaries as to who you are and what you want in a mate, you're probably going to end up with somebody who has things that are on your boundary list that are literally going to either A, drive you crazy, or B, it's going to make you miserable. And guess what? It's going to make them miserable too, because you weren't showing up authentically you. You were showing up as, oh, sure, I'll just act and take whatever it is. I'll just be whoever you want me to be. I will pretend that it's okay that you're, doing acid on the weekends, even though I'm completely against drugs. I will forgive that and overlook that, even though it is a huge alarm, red flag, like sirens, the whole meal deal, right? So this is the entire point to having boundaries. So back to my experience of online dating. I felt like I was in a meat market. I felt like everybody was there. But everybody that was in there or on those things had an agenda, and it was really just to see what the next best thing was. And every single time I went onto a site or I took myself off and went back on, the same people were there. The same people on all of these sites. Now, having said that, I was on all the sites too. But what I did notice is that on some of the sites, the guys made themselves different. So while I had the exact same bio on all the sites, some of the guys had different bios and they made themselves appear different. So one site that it was involved a little bit more, you had to put a little bit more about yourself. They were like, oh, I want a relationship. I want to find my partner, my true love. And then the site that you didn't need to put a lot of information, they were like, yeah, I just want to hook up for a booty call. So there again is a lot of discrepancy, and it leaves you kind of open to, again, spaghetti on a wall and what's going to stick. And quite honestly, none of it stuck for me. None of it. I met one gentleman. He was really decent. He was a kind person, but it just did not work out. And that was one out of a lot. A lot. So here's what I want to know. Who else is up for meeting people the good old-fashioned way, right? Meeting through friends, friend says, hey, I got a single friend. Hey, I do too. And the next thing you know, you're being hooked up at some dinner party or meeting somebody out doing something that you love. Maybe you love to go dancing. Maybe you love to go hiking. Maybe you are a gym person and really what you want is Mr. Meathead or Miss Buff, right? What happened to the good old-fashioned way of actually making eye contact and saying, hey, with your eyes, and hello with your eyes? And if that doesn't work, actually going up to the person and saying, hi, you know what? I kind of find you interesting. You're good looking and all that too, but I actually really like what you have to say. Or I notice you are always here at the gym. Or, you know what? How often do you go hiking here? I'm here all the time. I wouldn't mind a partner sometime. That is the way that I want to meet somebody. And I am putting it out to the universe with fingers and toes and every hair on my head crossed. That is exactly what's going to happen. Because I can tell you one thing. If my singledom is reliant on going online, this chickadee poo is going to be single with 10 cats living in an apartment the rest of her life. Because I will not subject myself to that ever again. So let me know what your thoughts are. I would love to know your experience. And until next time, have a great day. And if you know of anybody that's single, send them over here. Okay, bye.